The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was one of the most successful economic policy pieces of legislation in history. This is about extending that tax relief so the same people that benefited from it back in 2017 and for the last 8 years don't end up having a colossal, massive tax increase hitting them in the face come January 1.
So there's the Majority Leader, John Thune, kind of a closing argument, Senate floor a bit earlier, laying out the stakes for the big and beautiful bill now being debated. The Senate is in a marathon voting session as lawmakers propose amendments, and the White House keeping a very close eye on this. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett is with me now from the North Lawn. Thanks for coming on, sir, and good morning to you. The vote-a-rama means you can put up whatever you want there, and it takes 10 minutes to close out that vote, and I don't know, maybe they'll be there at 10:31 tonight. Question to you. There have been some critics, a few Republicans, I would say, but mostly Democrats, because you're not going to get a single Democrat to vote in the House and Senate for this. I do not believe. Maybe I'm wrong. What does America get from the big, beautiful bill?
Right. What America gets from the big, beautiful bill is border security, national security, an extra $10,000 in the pocket of the typical American family, no tax on overtime, no tax on tips. We've got 90 million American workers that are hourly workers that are going to see that extra overtime that they're getting paid go straight into their pockets. And all of this is going to happen if we pass the bill. If we don't pass the bill, the Council of Economic Advisors here at the White House has said that it's going to cause GDP to drop 4%, one of the biggest recessions in history because of a massive tax hike. And honestly, that's why this bill is going to pass. I've got a few Senate staffers on my team that did a little poll today. I told them to tell me what time is it going to pass tonight, and the average of the 4 votes was about midnight.
Okay, all right,
we'll see. But we're expecting it to pass today.
Midnight. Do you see the House being a bigger challenge than the Senate?
No, I think that everybody's worked very, very closely on this bill. I think that there's a lot to love of this bill. I think some people will have some things that they don't like about it, but this is not the last bill that's ever going to pass, right? So the people who want more spending cuts, well, we're going to have discretionary spending that can be rescinded, and we can start sending those rescission packages to the floor with 51 votes they can pass, and we could start that process as soon as we're on to the next thing. And so for sure, the House is going to pass this bill as well. And also, don't forget that the leadership under the Speaker and the Majority Leader, they've been doing something that we call a pre-conference, that they've really been negotiating line by line what the Senate bill should look like so that it'll be acceptable to the House. And so I don't think that there's going to be a heck of a lot of gap between what the House needs and what the Senate needs
in the end.
And the House will be able to pass the Senate bill.
I want to get to 2 more things, but quickly, you're getting hammered on these Medicaid cuts. Some on behalf of Tom Tillis out of North Carolina. What would you say to those who are coming after you on the Medicaid issue?
Right. The bottom line is that we're not taking away anybody's Medicaid. We're definitely not taking away anybody's Medicare. What we're doing is we're going after waste, fraud, and abuse, and there's a heck of a lot of it out there. A lot of budget savings have been found by people really in the House, in the Senate, not just conservatives, moderates agree that there's a lot of money that can be saved. And the bottom line is that we're, in the end, going to balance this budget, and we've got to balance this budget by getting rid of waste, fraud, abuse, and we're going to do it.
Okay,
and we've also got all this revenue coming in from the 3% growth, which will be an extra $4 trillion in revenue. We've got $2.8 trillion in tariff revenue coming in as well. So the idea that this is fiscally irresponsible is also incorrect.
Okay, I need a calculator to follow all of that. Tariff talks now. Canada conceded late last night on this Digital Services Act. Will you restart negotiations with Canada immediately then?
Oh, absolutely. We spoke with the Prime Minister and the President at the G7 meeting. One of the things that the President asked for was that they would take the DST tax off. It's something that they've studied, now they've agreed to, and for sure that means that we can get back to the negotiations.
What about the EU? Because it came out and said it will continue to pursue it, and Japan will as well.
Right.
How do you push back on that?
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Remember that they had 2 things, not to get too much into the weeds, but they had this thing called a global minimum tax, a Pillar 2 tax, which the G7 countries have agreed that they're not going to charge our companies taxes that really they shouldn't. And then we've also got the digital sales taxes. So we got all the Pillar 2 stuff gone now, and then the digital sales taxes. We'll see if they take them off. If they don't take them off, then Jameson Greer will have something to say.
Okay, so we're looking at next Wednesday for that deadline. Roll this from Maria's interview on the Fed chair from Sunday.
No inflation. We have a bad Fed chairman, but other than that, we have, great. It doesn't even matter. The numbers are so good, it doesn't matter that he keeps the rates artificially high.
I don't know what the Fed does, but they're holding pat for now. Is that a job that you would want at some point? Would you do well with that job?
I can't make a comment about that. But what I can say is that at one point President Trump said, "Kevin, you seem so happy when you're on TV." And the truth is that I'm so honored and pleased to be the director of the National Economic Council, to be here serving our country. But I can't comment on that.
Okay, all right. That'll be the Olay answer. Kevin Hassett, thank you for coming on, and we'll watch and see whether or not your staffers hit the mark at midnight tonight. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.